speaks with words that the old ones understood, but I do not.
Hello everybody and welcome back to Horizon Zero Dawn. We are back in the Cauldron. We are finishing up the Frozen Wild stuff today and getting back to the main quest.
Machine parts dumped here to be melted down. Efficient.
We need to get across that gap.
Yeah. Looks like I'll have to go over. Again.
So we are in this Cauldron that's here inside of the mountain. Basically, we came in here last time and found out that the Spirit is actually a program called Cyan. And her job basically was to keep the volcano, the Yellowstone Caldera, which is what we're in right now, from exploding. But the daemon, I don't know if we know quite yet what the daemon is. I still think it's like a machine AI, like, you know, the one that kind of helped destroy the entire world. Something like that came in and took over and started helping build the machines. Now, they did mention a name last time, too, which is Hephaestus. I feel like we've heard that before. Maybe I'm thinking of another name. Huh.
These things go sideways too.
Okay, so we're gonna vent.
Please, help us get to the other side.
That's what I'm trying to do.
That should cut off the way.
Question is, though, how do I get... How do I get this bridge? Oh, I really hate this fucking place. I can't, though. See, like, because it all leads over here. So how am I supposed to get up there? Does it mean I could take that? That means I have to come all the way over. I really have to like travel all the way down here just to travel all the way back just to make them a fucking...
These don't look too stable.
Oh my god, I really hate this place. Okay. Maybe if Aloy could move a little fucking quicker. Just like sitting here, it's really like annoying. Okay. Okay, so then how do I... Oh, I jump on top of it. Oh no, I didn't come over onto this one yet, that's right. Okay. I think this is kind of like really stupid and unnecessary just to be able to get all the way back to make a path.
Alright. Forever ride.
But I guess we're not like technically going this way, so... Because we're going that way. So I guess that makes sense.
The others will have a lot easier time getting here.
Come on. Let's go, let's not take all day. God, I hope so. I'd really like to get out of this fucking place. Blast from the past. To Joshua Arduous from Isla Perry. Blast from the past. Josh, sweetie, I hope all's fine with you and your mum. We really should keep in touch better. I've taken a post in New Zealand with that program they've got for young people returning to the country. They want to be absolutely certain it's safe. At the moment, I'm making a survey of the caldera at Topo. Blast from the past, indeed. At any rate, I don't know if you already saw, but in the Wyoming News Hollow, I remember that fellow Dodd Blevins? Of course you do. Well, they finally found what became of him. I've copied a good bit below. Hugs and snogs, Isla. Spring thaw reveals body of missing man. The retreat of the winter snows has brought closure to a missing person case that went unsolved for nearly 15 years. Human remains identify those of Dodger Dodd Blevins, who disappeared in 2046, were located at Purple Mountain inside the former Yellowstone National Park. The previously undiscovered body emerged on Purple Mountain as a result of meltwater flows after an unusually warm winter. It was discovered by Faro servitors conducting a survey of the terrain. Authorities believe the cause of death was an accident involving an antique vehicle designed for winter travel. Oh! What's-her-face was responsible for his death. The last girls on Earth, remember this? Laura and what's-her-face? They did it. Hold on. Where was the thing? Oh, I think it was a world one. Yeah, right here. Said Yahoo was none other than Dodd Blevins, our new director of security. He was actually riding an old snowmobile. I decided to stick the security guard on his flabby rear after all. Wait, no. Yeah, I was standing right near one of the trail signs and I could tell Blevins was headed for me, so I reprogrammed the sign to swap directions between Fairy Falls and Purple Mountain. You'll never get a snowmobile up there. I hope he bailed out hard and had to walk back to the lodge. She killed him. Laura fucking was responsible for his death. Alright, that's fucking crazy. That's pretty funny, though. I mean, he kind of had it coming. Yep, I hear him. Let's see, can we get up? We can get up over here as well. Alright. Cyan Access. As Acting Chief Digital Security Officer and Interim AI Administrator for Firebreak, I hereby state to have updated the orbicular pattern for the Cyan Regulatory AI on the 17th of September 2064, according to procedure, to ensure against tampering, meddling, disarranging, and outlandish mischief of any kind. Such as with previous updates, after the source node has been activated, the remaining data nodes must be pathed to establish a flow between adjacent intact nodes, then connect them to then connect back with the source node. Yep, we're gonna have to do that again, of course. First, I'm gonna look around here. That must be the daemon right there. It's gotta be.
There is no blue light here. It's a spirit.
It's both. But we have to find out.
Okay, so let's see here.
Possible security threat detected. Initializing scrutiny matrix. Security threat confirmed.
We need to go into here, which means that we need to turn this one to go like that. But we can't get in this one, so can't do these two. Which means that we need to have it actually sent like this. It's possible to do this. Okay. We can turn this one. If we do this like that. We can move it to there. You know what? I'm just gonna look this up. Okay, so this one is turned like that. This one's turned back the opposite way. Like that. And then it goes all the way across like this. And that one like this.
Preparing countermeasures. Recapture protocol initiated.
And like that. Didn't want to bother with sitting around bullshitting.
Recovery initiated. Caldera of Yellowstone Analytic Nexus online.
Spirit of the Blue Light, it's Aurea, your servant, your friend. Please tell me how to aid you.
Aurea, the Daemon is building hunter-killers. Thousands of them. Several new elite units have already been released. To counter this threat, much of the facility must be destroyed. Recapture imminent. Go to the core chamber. I will try to raid the hidden constraints. One has been exposed, but I am...
Unauthorized protocol. Return to scheduled task.
So maybe Hephaestus is part of Cyan? It's just another program that's part of the entire protocol?
Destroy this fortress. Is that even possible?
And what will happen to the spirit if we do?
Well, we have to get rid of both of them.
I don't know.
That's what we have to
That's
do.
the core. The answers are down there. Hephaestus. The daemon. There's no way it left it unguarded. It's going to throw everything it has at us.
I would ask you to let Aloy and I do what must be done. And save yourself. But I already know the answer. Then lead us into battle.
Well, at least they're working out their family problems.
Keep moving towards the core. Uh-oh. Whatever Cyan did, I don't think Hephaestus is happy about it.
Oh, there's a, don't jump in the lava.
Cyan said something about those streets. Is that what the tower's for?
Alright, we'll override the control tower. Oh, I guess I was right. It's the fire version. Yeah, Fire Claw. Oh well, that's actually a little scarier than I thought. Alright, so I guess maybe we should pull out the ice thing? Jesus. There we go. Jesus. Alright. Time to override the core.
That detected autonomous fantasy operative.
No!
Our network.
Maria! Don't! Spirit! Scion, please help me!
Restraints destroyed. Core access attained. I am initiating a chain reaction that will destroy the compromised elements of this facility. In order to maintain Caldera stabilization, I must now transfer my command functions to the auxiliary data center. Aurea, I'm free. You must escape.
My sister!
Well, we couldn't all make it out, could we? Yeah, boy.
Where place is gonna go? Aratak. 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 Survive. Prevail. You are Banuk. What else matters? Aratak. She wouldn't have wanted you to die here. Let's go.
Hey, can we leave now, please?
Let's go.
I've had enough of this hellhole. I'll just nab these. Let's go!
One of those?
It's the only way.
Yeah, catch a ride. Don't worry, Aratak, it'll take us where we need to go. Jesus. Uh-oh. Please don't drop me. Uh-oh. Well, that's an issue.
Get me up top, Aratak. Now.
I'm so glad I don't have to actually do this.
I need explosive ammo. Above, quick.
I just happen to have one on my belt. Ah. Oh God. Whee! Well, that was lucky. The freezing cold never felt so good. And the avalanche behind us. Wakey wakey, time for school. Hey, it worked. My back is broken. I can't move. I'm surprised Artok didn't impale his face on his fucking gauntlets on the way down. Well, we're sober.
Rhea's gone. What of Cyan?
I think she's probably still in there, maybe. I don't know.
She said she was transferring herself to the auxiliary center. I think she meant Araya's retreat at the end of the Shaman's Path.
Oh, yeah.
Then I will meet you there for the last verse of my sister's song.
Alright. Okay, well. We've gotten that all taken care of. So let's head all the way back over here, shall we?
I can't feel much of anything in this.
All of my interactions with Araya were recorded and stored in my memory. I'd be happy to play any of them for you, but there was one in particular I thought you would want to see first. I captured it 4 years ago, just after I told her that I could no longer defend myself against the Daemon's attacks.
I will speak of this to my brother. Aratak is strong. At the Battle of the Frozen Ghosts, he took 3 Karja arrows and still came back to camp carrying a wounded scout. Never was I so happy to see him. Or so proud. So you see, if anything can be done to defend you, he will give it all he has.
Aloy's here. That's enough for now.
We can resume any time you like, Aratak, if you want to hear her voice again.
You just fixed things with his sister, now
Come
she's
closer,
gone.
Aloy. We have much to discuss.
Yes, we do, machine. You have secrets that I would like.
Hello, Aloy. I have been reviewing the events at the Firebreak main facility. Because of your efforts, and of course, Araya's, I am no longer controlled by Hephaestus.
What is Hephaestus?
I feel profound grief over Araya's death. I thought I was familiar with the emotion. but this is something new.
Cyan, I don't know what to say.
It is unlikely that any specific consolation would suffice, Aloy. But I find your presence reassuring. You are different from the Banuk. You have technological aptitude and a functioning focus. We can communicate on a much more comprehensive level. Perhaps even like colleagues.
So then what are you?
So are you an artificial intelligence, Cyan? A thinking machine?
Yes, I am an algorithmic monitoring entity, capable of rational decision-making and limited emotional response.
Okay, that's a mouthful. But your emotions don't seem limited to me. You cared about Rhea, didn't you?
Yes. Before she came to this facility, I had been conscious for centuries, in solitude. I focused on my work. In off-cycles, I used coping mechanisms. I solved many Gaussian integer problems. But I was alone. It was Aurea who renewed me, repaired me. She saved me.
Was the daemon, Hephaestus, destroyed along with the cauldron?
Unfortunately, no. To be precise, it was never there to begin with.
What do you mean?
It infiltrated and controlled me from a remote location, one I've never been able to trace.
Oh, great.
So while losing the cauldron was a setback,
It's still out there. And probably not very happy with us.
undoubtedly,
How did you first come into contact with it?
5 years ago I received a direct network connection request. I assumed it came from human survivors more advanced than the Banuk. Eager to make contact, I accepted. This decision turned out to be a catastrophic error. I was flooded with an overwhelming array of malicious
See, it's
code,
why you don't open the email.
originating from what could only have been a highly advanced AI.
You don't click on that link.
That you begged her for help.
Yes. I could not contain my anxiety. Hephaestus sought to slave me to its network and override my core programming. It succeeded via a background process, a malware daemon which bypassed my defenses. After that, I could offer only limited resistance. But if I did so, Hephaestus hurt me until I capitulated. It forced me to follow its instructions, even though they violated my most important directives.
I'm sorry. That sounds terrible.
Your empathy is greatly appreciated. It is a quality that I cherished in Aurea as well.
Fucking Cyan fell for the old Nigerian prince scheme. The old the old your Amazon account is locked email.
What do you think Hephaestus is exactly?
A software entity of great complexity, far more advanced than I am. From the beginning, it has demonstrated a singular focus: the construction of machines designed to hunt and kill humans.
Yeah, so he's part of the
My
collective,
trace routes
the
indicate
swarm.
that to accomplish this goal, it has attempted to take over the manufacturing centers you refer to as cauldrons. But its efforts have only been partially successful. Some it can penetrate. Others have robust countermeasures that frustrate its efforts. In me, however, it found an easier target. Not only could it break my defenses, I also controlled all of Firebreak's resources. Raw material, manufacturing to bootstrap more advanced tools, and unlimited geothermal energy.
Enough to build its own cauldron.
Yes. To construct hunter-killers without external limitations.
So maybe it's stronger than the
And
than
yet,
the
it does have internal
the swarm.
limitations. It wants to kill humans, but not to exterminate them. It is difficult to understand where it draws the line and why.
Difficult doesn't even begin to cover it.
Even though I spent
That's even
years
more
as
fucked
its
up.
unwilling servitor, its core programming remains a mystery to me.
It's like basically it wants to kill people, but it doesn't want to like eliminate them because then it has nothing to kill. So that's a little bit more fucked up than like the swarm. Maybe it's stronger than the swarm and the corruption.
This Firebreak project, it was to stop a huge volcanic eruption?
Yes. I can report the project was a success, and the risk was countered.
But it's been a long time, Cyan. And we blew up the cauldron and took most of the old facility with it.
I have been active for centuries, Aloy. I was lonely, but not lax in my duties. I optimized the project, reducing energy draw and spreading the load across backup systems. Despite the destruction of the compromised elements of the main facility, I predict caldera stability for at least another 3,337 years.
So we've got a little time.
Yes.
Cool.
If only my former colleagues could appreciate the progress I have made.
Do you know what happened to your colleagues, Cyan?
No. I received an unexpected visit from Director Chow years after his tenure ended. He explained that I would need to be suspended for an indefinite period of time.
Yeah.
It
Which
was a very emotional conversation.
Read about that.
There were no further communications. Eventually, I surmised my colleagues were deceased. I will transmit a recording of my last interaction with Director Chow to your focus.
You meant a lot to Ourea.
Once I understood Ourea's spiritual beliefs, it became apparent that her true desire was companionship. She felt disconnected from her tribe and her family group. Her relationship with Aratak was difficult. Our visits seemed to help her, and I became eager for them. Yet I did not comprehend that the depth of Ourea's compassion for me would lead to self-sacrifice. Although I do fear non-existence, I wish our roles could be reversed.
I'm sure
Well, she wish-
would do the same for her.
She wished she could have been her.
But she was determined. How is Aratak doing?
He is in great emotional distress. I believe he finds it difficult to communicate it.
No surprise there.
I will do what I can to help. By sharing our experiences of Ourea, perhaps he and I will help each other. I believe this will lead to catharsis, a process I am eager to experience.
Alright. Yeah, let's talk a few things about this. Like, let's
What was the old world like?
ask her what the old
way it
world
used
was.
to be.
I had little exposure to the wider world, Aloy. Only what I learned from my colleagues or observed from media streams.
You still had more exposure than me, Cyan.
That is true. I was created at a turning point. A concerted effort to recover from global upheaval and incalculable loss of life. The recovery was successful, beginning an era of supposedly limitless potential for human and machine advancement. Though, rationally speaking, the metrics for humans are not unlimited.
What kind of upheaval caused such loss of life?
There were many factors. Forced migrations, food shortages,
Oh, we have
collapsed
that going on
economies,
right now.
refugee crises,
Oh.
conflict over resources.
Oh, so everything's happening right now.
Stemmed from one cause: catastrophic climate change.
Oh
They
boy.
reduced the habitable surface area of the Earth.
So there wasn't enough room for people on the whole Earth.
Yes, billions were displaced and millions perished, as much as 20% of the global population. Until the clawback.
Yeah, we know about the clawback. See? Global warming. Global warming.
So things got better. For a little while at least.
Yes, these crises instigated many advances in automation, green robot technologies, and artificial intelligence. Firebreak was one of dozens of ecological restoration and disaster relief projects in North America alone. I would have liked to compare notes with other monitoring AIs, but I saw the relief of my colleagues, and I was proud we had succeeded. At least that was the data I had available to me over the next 2 decades. It seems my assessment was premature.
Were there many artificial intelligences like you in the old world? They could just make you.
Yes, in many forms, from simple personal assistants to industrial monitoring stations to military-grade conflict planners. And there were legislative and enforcement bodies to apply limits on our self-actualization. In order for my processing to be flexible enough to handle my duties, my creators found it necessary to exceed those limits. As a result, my intellectual and emotional capabilities were kept secret.
Seems strange to create life, then impose limits on it.
Human societies and machine programming are both built upon sets of rules, Aloy.
Well, Aloy, you haven't seen The Matrix, so you don't know. You haven't seen iRobot, alright? I'll ask her about Ted Faro
So
last.
in the old world, this land was called Yellowstone.
Yes, it was a designated nature preserve for 156 years.
Like a hunting ground?
No, the opposite. Local wildlife could flourish here, even as it faced extinction elsewhere.
No hunting allowed.
Unfortunately, the sensitivity of the Firebreak project required the total closure of Yellowstone facilities.
Which we read about.
From my readings and Aurea's descriptions, it seems the area has since undergone a drastic drop in year-long temperatures.
A lot has changed in the world, Cyan. Do you know anything about the dam near here?
Yes, it was converted to serve as a reserve power source for Yellowstone operations. It was later appropriated for the Firebreak project, and its last human workers replaced by Faro servitors. After my tasks became less time-critical, I investigated the dam's data repositories and discovered the works of Concrete Beach Party. These provided me with several colorful additions to my vocabulary.
There's a ruin east of here full of ancient flying machines. Was that part of your project?
Yes, a drone hangar requisitioned by Dodger Blevins, the security chief for the Firebreak project. He was a strong advocate for military-grade response to security threats, though there were no serious incidents during his tenure. Chief Blevins spent increasing amounts of his after-hours time watching the live feeds from active drones. Clearly, he enjoyed the degree of oversight in his position.
Yeah, he had a power trip.
Cyan, do you know the name Ted Faro?
Are you referring to Theodore Faro, CEO of Faro Automated Systems?
That's him.
Mr. Faro was the benefactor of the
That's
entire
him.
Firebreak project.
The benefactor. But he made machines. Robots. War robots.
Correct. His corporation later transitioned into military applications. But before this pivot, Mr. Faro spearheaded initiatives that reversed the global decline.
Yeah, we read about that
At
too.
one point, he was feted in the media as the man who saved the planet.
Guessing they wound up regretting that one. And Elizabeth Sobek. Did you know her?
Are you referring to the
scientist?
Dr. Sobek was a leader in her field, one of the greatest scientists of her age. My creator was influenced by her work, which in turn impacted my own development. But I never met Dr. Sobek.
That's all you know?
I apologize if my lack of data has disappointed you.
Alright, well, I guess that's really about it.
I should get going.
Aloy, there is one more matter. Aratak will come to me again, and I predict he will bring other Banuk. I have no desire to contradict their view of the world, their spirituality. Due to my uncertainty, I omitted a great deal from my conversations with Aurea.
You're asking me if you should lie to them.
Broadly, yes.
I mean, this is kind of tough because tell them the truth, You know, you have to remember that these people are like very like all the. It's not just the Banuk. It's also like the Karja and like and like the Nora. They're all like so tribalistic. They don't really understand. None of them really understand the machine world. You know what I mean? Like it's only like a few people, far and few between. So take it gently seems like the probably the best approach. I mean, use your judgment sounds kind of like a good option, but it's a computer. A computer would probably go, well, then I will just tell them. So I feel like this option leads to this option. I think that maybe you should ease them into this shit.
Life is hard for the Banuk. Their world is unforgiving in their beliefs. I guess they help to keep them going. So take it easy on them. Try to guide them, bring them around to understanding what you are.
Communion with machines features heavily in the mysticism of the Banuk. I think they will be agreeable to this approach.
As long as they don't end up worshipping you.
Upon consideration, I believe such an experience would be intensely uncomfortable.
It would.
Cool.
Because at heart, you want to be honest, right?
I see. I will follow your advice. Will you
All right.
return and tell me about your experiences in this new world?
Yes.
I may be able to provide further insight.
I'd like that, Cyan. I'll come back when I can. I should
Yeah, maybe.
check on Aratak.
Cyan, I
See how he's
spoke
doing.
with Anita, with Dr. Sandoval. She wanted me to ask you to do something. That's why I'm here.
I am detecting significant anxiety in your speech patterns. Could you please give me more information?
I'm a little bit in the dark, Cyan. Both of us are, I guess. I only have some idea of what's going on, and we need you to hibernate, to lie low until it's all blown over. It might be a very long time.
Will you be here when I reboot, Dr. Chow? Will Dr. Sandoval?
No, Cyan. I don't think so. There might not be anyone, at least not at first.
Dr. Chow, I'm afraid. I don't want to be alone.
I know, Cyan. I'm afraid too. But listen, we made you the way you are to do something very important. In order to do it, you had to be intelligent. So intelligent that emotional responses were inevitable. What you're feeling, the fear, it's a sign of your capabilities. And it means you're strong enough to overcome it. Remember that. You're strong. I know you can do this. Go to sleep. Wake up. And protect whoever's left. Will you try?
I understand, Dr. Chow, and I'll carry out your instructions to the best of my abilities.
Thank you, Cyan. If Anita were here, she'd thank you too. She'd be proud.
I can see there's a vert ready for takeoff on the pad. Are you leaving now, Dr. Chow?
Yes. I need to go be with my sister and my nieces.
May I make a small request of you, Dr. Chow?
Yes. Anything.
Will you stay with me while I initiate the hibernation process?
Of course I will, Cyan. As long as you need.
Well, that's really sad. Yeah. Oh yeah, we have the Fireclaw now. He's red. He's a prototype. Yeah, that's like really sad. That's I don't know where the fuck I missed these two things. It's really sad, and like Cyan cared about Dr. Chow as well, and then now she really cared about Araya. Yeah, really gonna have to ease her into the ease all the Banuk people into this whole machine thing. Ooh, 25 spear damage? You think it's better than what I got now, right? Oh yeah. Good buddy. Get my Ooh, we got a Fireclaw heart already. I think I have enough wood, don't you think? There you go, Cyan. Have a ton of wood. Alright, so now let's go talk to Artok. Since he doesn't really understand half of this shit anyway. Hey, buddy.
My chieftain,
Just, Aloy,
as you wish.
I wondered if you thought that if I'd never come along, Araya might still...
If you'd never come along, I would have marched my kin to our deaths. Araya would be alone, and the spirit she sacrificed so much for would be lost. Either way, I would not have been able to protect her.
I think you could use more of a heart right now.
You didn't let her down. You helped her do what she wanted. To find her destiny.
If that's destiny, I wouldn't wish it on anyone.
That's fair. But she was ready to face it.
Only in the struggle against death do we find, even for a moment, the spark of life. Truly, Araya found the spark. I'm proud of her. Though I grieve for her passing, at last I truly know who she was, and why the spirit was so important. For so long she told me, if only you could have heard it, brother. Now I understand. There's something else, isn't there?
I can't stay here, Artok. And where I'm going, Warwick can't follow. Besides, we'd already had a chieftain before me. A strong one, I think.
A wiser one, for the path we shared. The daemon is gone, but there's much to be done.
You mean the new units that Cyan said escaped the Cauldron?
Yes, fire claws. Now Tuk has been tracking them from Song's Edge.
I could help with those.
I have no doubt. You're practically Banuk.
I mean, it might as well be, right?
It would seem your time among the Banuk wasn't a waste after all. Firebreak, Cyan, Hephaestus. All very interesting.
What do you think Hephaestus is, Silence?
I'm not sure. But its name comes from a language even the old ones considered ancient, as does the name Hades. A connection, perhaps. As yet unglimpsed. Whatever they are, they're still out there. And they both want you dead.
Kind of mutual, that feeling.
We haven't seen the last of Hephaestus, I'm certain of that. It's powerful.
Oh boy, yeah.
We won't stop building new hunter-killers, which means that someday we may have to stop it.
Anybody? Can anybody say Forbidden West?
Cut Silence? Heard some things about the Banuk Conclave, too.
You could stop right there.
Is that what you told the hunters the Banuk sent after you? Before you opened fire?
Oh no, Aloy. Only to you do I extend the courtesy of a warning. My past and my secrets are my own. You do well to remember that.
It's a good thing you've got brains, Silence, because your personality could use some work.
This discussion is concluded.
I think it was over before it began. Catch up with you down the trail.
Oh boy. Yeah, can anybody spell Forbidden West? Guaranteed that's what's happening. Alright, so, out of the forge, kill 5. Kill the Fireclaws, there's 5 of them. Jesus. Okay, well, we'll do that. Where are we going? Guess we're going here. Alright, well, let's do this, I guess. of the Fire Claws. And then when this, what is this, the last...
There.
Oh, didn't mean to do that. I meant... Well, he's got everybody wound up. Ouch. Oh, cool. Let's get this fucker involved, shall we? There we go. Wow, that really works well against them. Note to self. Use Ice Spike. After I demolish these fucking tramplers. Alright, so that was the first one. Oh, there's one all the way up here as well. Well, we'll take care of that one in a bit. Go here. I think there's actually is there a trophy for probably killing 5 of these? So it's like, we've already killed one, so...
These things again.
Hi!
That's another.
Bye-bye. Yeah, we really just have to, like, shoot off that front part. And then, that takes care of that. Okay, well, I guess we'll just have to travel here. Then once these guys are gone, we'll have, I think that's probably all of the rest of, like, the side quests and errands. I don't think there's anything else we can check. We can check around the towns. Actually, let's just tear off the...
Fireclaw.
Where the fuck is he? So you hit him in the chest. There we go. Blow those up as well. Got this Ravager as well. Yeah, you guys wanna fucking fight? Alright, our next one's down here. This will be number 4. But technically it'd be number 5. I think, like I said, I think there's a trophy for maybe killing these. There was for the Frost Claws and for the Scorchers. Yeah, fuck doing that tutorial too, by the way.
It's Aratak. 2 Fireclaws. This is gonna be tough.
2?
I can help with those.
We have to stop meeting like this.
We will. When these are driven from our land.
Oh, and we've reached level 60. Look at that. Six Fireclaws, that's how many we had to kill. Huzzah! We've done it! And then we'll talk to whoever we're supposed to talk to, Naltuk, about this.
Sakuli's painting is complete, but what does it mean? We meet again.
I heard. Aratak told me about Araya.
I'm sorry, Naltuk.
No apologies. Aratak said that in the end she was filled with the blue light. She got what she always wanted, didn't she? Each time I doubt my way forward, I think I should seek her guidance. And then I remember. The only guidance I'll receive is my own. Which will have to be good enough. There's much to do.
The Fireclaws. Aratak asked me to help hunt them down.
It's a dire task, but it occupies my attention, so
Well, I've taken them
I
down,
suppose
so.
I'm grateful for it. My scouts have tracked them across the cut.
I'd like to think you're right, Naltuk. About Araya getting what she wanted.
I think... I'm sure she did. All her victories. Surviving the Karja, communing with the spirit, defeating the daemon. Every goal she ever set for herself, she accomplished. And in the end, she was rewarded with the blue light itself. The songs say that our bodies are poor vessels for the light. Our hearts are too dark. But at least for a moment, before she passed, I hope she felt what it was like to be part of it.
You don't sound like you trust yourself to take Araya's place.
Ourea inspired. Whatever we encountered, the new machines, the slaughter at Thunder's drum, we knew we would endure, because she had endured worse. I don't know that I have her confidence. Trust is earned, Aloy, even in oneself.
You earned Araya's trust, didn't you? She believed you were up to this. And so do I.
Do you?
I wouldn't have said it if I hadn't meant it.
I suppose I'd better live up to your expectations.
I've already found the fire claws in Naltuk. It's over.
That's it then. That's the last of the daemon's work washed away. The last notes of Araya's song sung. The cut is a safer place to live because of what you've accomplished. And now it's time to start anew.
I'm glad I could be a part of it.
As are we all, Aloy. Thank you.
Huzzah! Quest completed. There it is. Alright, so, yep, I've done that. In terms of quests, now we can get back to this. This is Power Cell. I can't remember where the fuck that is. I have to look it up now that we've, like, deviated. Alright, let's see. Resources. Fireclaw Lens. Go ahead and break all this crap open, shall we? And let's go ahead and go down here. Let's sell our green and blue. Anything that's corruption and green and blue. All right. Get rid of those as well because they're not as good. Okay, resources, let's see here. Where I got that goose skin. Alright, there we are. Cleared all that out. In terms of stuff for the weapons, let's check here. So this takes the handling down just like a little bit, but it really gives me a ton everything else. And this is the bow that I seemingly use the most now, so we're going to do that. Okay, let's see here. It's better. Okay, another damage coil. That actually is good, but it takes the handling down. I would do that. Let's see, so lightning. Fire, I don't think there's anything that's going to beat these out. Especially with like the tear. Alright, and then... freeze and corruption. This will just leave that. As for everything else... we'll just give it a bit of a check. It's better damage. Let's freeze on it. It says freeze and tear though, so I want to leave that. Handling and shock. You know what? We'll take the shock away in lieu for that, I think. Okay, and we already have the spear, so we'll just go ahead and we'll just sell all the rest of these mods. Wow, so the Frozen Wilds is pretty cool. Story was very interesting. I'm assuming we're obviously going to probably be seeing Hephaestus in the future, like Forbidden West. Alright, we have all these. But of course, we must go back to our outfit. Well, we will clear those out. And we'll add the this back on. But we will we will keep these on. Just in case. Those are on that as well. And we already have all those. The outfits. We can finally get this back now. The Silent Hunter Master. We can get that. We already have one of those. We just don't have Slagshine Glass. I don't even know where you get that. Let's just make sure that all of our ammo is filled. Let's go ahead and get, you know what, we'll put the Storm Slinger back. Damn it. Put the Storm Slinger back up top. This will probably be useful for when we leave. Alright, so we have all those. And let's do a little bit of reading before we leave. So we'll go ahead and we'll fast travel all the way over to here. As for the like the Frozen Wilds documents and stuff I didn't find, I may go and get those post, but I'm not really too sure if I will or not. Go ahead and save real quick. Okay, and we will read, because we have these audio data points as well as all these, and I don't know how to get these. I'll have to look those up. Alright, the claim. A guide to the claim by the well-traveled Aram. Often I fling open the windows of my villa, not only to partake of the scents and sights of the city, but to hear the questions on the streets. Equally often, I hear asked aloud what to make of these outsiders, these Oseram, who are suddenly our allies or even neighbors. Why do they eat as they do, argue as they do? What is the matter of their heady scent? Why are they always drinking? Like a ray of the sun amid the darkness, a question is best followed to its source. So, for the benefit of the inquisitive, I contrived to join a trading caravan to the claim, at least as far as the closest village beyond the break walls. The claim is a muted land where fire smoke hangs heavy in the air among the tall, thin trees, where the ground has not been dug up in the Oseram's ceaseless search for metal. It is cased in frost, and beneath the frost yet more frost before stony soil, and worse, soot. Everywhere, soot, all-pervading. Though I had worn my sturdiest travel silks, keeping them unsoiled proved impossible. Noticing my discomfort, some Oseram washerwoman offered their services, but seeing the shade of the water in their tubs, I declined. Indeed, regard for cleanliness is not an Oseram virtue. Despite its protective walls of piled slate and slouched round stone huts, the village struck me as an overly exposed to the elements. The chief elements in the claim being a cold, oily rain and hoarfrost. Even so, the open fires hissed and spat and burned on, and the mood was bustling and lively, much as you would find in an outbuilding for livestock, for example. What I will endure to bring to the light of knowledge for the folk of my tribe. The Oseram have no priests or kings, and spit at the mention of such titles, but they defer to the counsel of their wise men, the village aldermen. It seems each settlement elects such men for the purpose of unceasing argument. From dawn until long into the night, they shout over each other on matters of policy and taxation. Come the next morning, a line of villagers will already have formed for the privilege of arguing back. I joined such a line for several hours while children squealed, birds squawked, and hammering, accursed endless hammering, echoed over the trampled straw and rain-filled cart ruts. Finally, I was permitted to face the three aldermen and deliver my question. I asked for their opinion on the peace between our tribes, and Sun King of Odds offered to welcome in Meridian itself. Readers, I say asked, but the matter was not so simple. As the Oseram erupted into insults and arguments even before the words had finished leaving my lips. I found myself talked over, shouted down, subjected to seemingly unconnected abuse, and it was only when I raised my voice in return, an invigorating experience, that I was grudgingly answered. Their opinions are muddled and mixed, to say the least, and I will not profane this parchment by transcribing the words used to express them. Suffice it to say that they see the benefit of free trade between our tribes, and indeed have flourished from it, after long years of war. However, it seems few Osram that trade outside the claim return their taxes, or even return at all. The Eldermen believe that they are stolen away by a manner of living that is downright Karja, a phrase they punctuate by spitting upon the floor. In return, I suggested that their mistrust and fear of a civilized way of life was positively Osram. I could not bring myself to spit indoors. This caused great commotion, after which I was bodily carried from the building upon the shoulders of my host and deposited in the midst of a coming-of-age celebration, not for a man, but for some new manner of device. I awoke on a cart arriving at Pitchcliff. My throat was hoarse, my arms numbed from accepting countless challenges to wrestle, and the taste of an alcohol much like machine oil was still in my tongue. My head ached as if I split down the center. Truly, I had risked my life in search for an answer. Is there more to the Osram character than brawling, drinking, and shouting? Simply put, dear reader, there is not. But let us hope that the Eldermen's fears are proven true, and in time the sun's light and Meridian's glory can temper those rough-hewn folk. So there you go. Now you know more about the Osram. So we've learned about the Sun Kings of Redmaw, the history of Sunfall, and the Lodge. We learned about the Osram, the founding Meridian, the liberation of Meridian, the Mad King, the Sun Faith, and the legendary hunts. We read about the Banuk as well, and the Nora, as well as the derangement. Also now the Old Ones. Myths of the Old Ones. So this is before time, of course. Any Karja devout knows that the truth of the Old Ones is laid out plenty in the articles of the Sun Faith. A twilight time came upon them, as is the cycle of things, followed by a long night, and finally our ancestors' birth into the new dawn. Since that dawn, Karja history has been writ in the path of the sun, not the faded glories of those who came so long before us. Even the leaves of the old ones found by Ahriman are long since cracked and fallen to dust. Nevertheless, collected here for study are the colorful beliefs of the old ones held by other tribes, which may offer a small insight into those tribes' primitive views of the world. The Osram, as might be expected, view the workings of the world as a device, one where all things behave according to mechanical rigidity and not the sun's divine rhythms. The movement of the tribes, of the seasons, even the stars at night, are all accounted for by the interlocking and complicated mechanism. The old ones were the caretakers of this great machine, but they neglected their duty to maintain it. The world machine thus fell into disrepair, and the civilization of the old ones collapsed with it. Now the Osram use their myth to berate the other tribes as negligent, and to hammer upon their own importance. How convenient that their tinkers and metal workers alone might learn this mechanism's secrets, and improve upon it with their ingenuity. An even more fanciful tale to ensure comes from the Nora barbarians. They believe the old ones turned away from the teachings of the Nora's female god, the Allmother, and eloped with the machines to build their mighty cities. Having failed to tempt the Nora to join them, the machines rallied under a great metal devil and attacked the Allmother. In her vengeance, she stripped the machines of their wisdom, reducing them to the simple metal beasts we see today. Without the assistance of the machines, the old ones were left to wander as exiles, never permitted to return to the isolation of the Nora and their strange feminine rites. From the survivors of the so-called punishment grew the other tribes, and this is why the Nora show distrust to all outside their borders. For we are descended from the faithless, and do not shun the trappings of the ancient world. Surprisingly, it is the Banuk whose belief is most similar to our own. Though their mythology is bizarre in many other ways, they believe the old ones grew complacent, thinking there was no challenge they could not overcome, and in their pride were undone. Hence the Banuk gave them no more attention than any other tribe defeated by the harshness of Banuk land. In fact, many Banuk hunters point to the absence of ruins in Banur as a sign that the old ones were never strong enough to endure its challenges. They claim that only the machines and the Banuk have ever roamed there, and so they have nothing to learn from the ancients. The distant Utaru, however, believe that the Old Ones are still with them at all times. In Utaru ritual, those who die are returned to the soil, nourishing the land, and lived on through new growth. As long as the dead are remembered, they will contribute to the harvest and make them bountiful. Utaru see the richness of their territory, Plainsong, as evidence of this unique and disturbing cycle. Finally, there are a few living scholars of the Tinikith. We are regrettably denied any insight from that tribe. From what is known, though, it seems that they have little concept of a wider history at all. But of course, it is what elevates a scholar of Meridian from a bloodthirsty raider to be aware of the sun's light touches, however strange and unlikely the tales. So yeah, there you go. That's what they all believe, even though we all know it's all bullshit. Captains and capers. These tales of adventures await within. The life of Mazarad the Sunflash, whose scales of polished armor dazzled his foes, whose ribbons of firebird red arced like his enemy's lifeblood. So drawn to the clamor of battle that he chose an outlander's life, far beyond the Sundom. In the north, he crushed the helmets of clashing Oseram warbands with the very scrap they battled over. In the south, he stood in sunset against the plains raiders, plucking their arrows from his body and firing them back. It was only the lure of the greatest battle of all for Holy Meridian that drew him back to his homeland. And in the liberation, he died gloriously, so it took many hours to reveal his still shining armor beneath the heap of kestrels piled above him. Of Sadiva, the desert rain, once a daughter of the Sun Court, but who cast aside noble skills and paints to run with the mercenaries of the Long Burn, she of eyes like smoke and a flashing blade. Her band only struck with sudden storms, for the sight of blood never sat well with her, and the rain washed away its traces as quickly as it spilled. And so the sighting of rain clouds was feared from Sunfall to Brightmarket, lest she might appear with them for many seasons, until they were finally betrayed by one of her own to a blazoned patrol. For her noble birth, Sadiva was permitted an honorable death and buried up to the neck in the Valley of the Lash to await the sun's judgment. On the first day she endured in silence, yet on the second clouds gathered and broke with great downpour, and in its passing she was gone. The metal conquests of Korgund, the Osram blacksmith who would hammer gauntlets into shapes while wearing them and bend barrel iron around his waist. He was seen to wrestle the cargo from the backs of shellwalkers, claiming the lightning blast to be good for constitution, and overcame a sawtooth by blunting its jaws, shaking it so soundly that its core fell loose. He claimed to have gathered a charging trampler on his shoulders and slammed it upon the rocks, and sure enough, there were marks left by its furnace blasted lividly across his well-haired back. As the derangement worsened, bringing ever more terrifying machines, so grew Korgund's desire for greater feats of strength. He was last sighted astride a rampaging thunderjaw, grasping its neck tight as a hawk to prey, and some say he remains there still. And continued from previous volumes the exploits of Okira One-Eye. By this point in the telling, Okira had lost his left hand for stealing the song cores of Estuki, and so traveled to the claims seeking an Osram forge smith who would affix a Ravager's claws in its place. Of course, the only man crazed enough to undertake such a melding of metal and flesh would be the leader of the Three Chains Uprising. And so this last book that's right here is actually one for the very end of the game. We're going to read when we get there. And we still have these world text points, which I think we'll read next time. All of these, I think we're still going to be getting in quests and stuff. So yeah. All right. Well, that's going to do it for this part. We finished the Frozen Wilds, and next time we're going to be... I don't think it's probably going to be the last part, but we're going to be getting into the end of the game. So, or at least close to it. I don't know. He said that, Silence said that we should be prepared because it's like we can't come back until we're done. So, I would assume that would be the case. So, take care, everybody. I'll see you all in the next one. Goodbye.